There are hundreds of miles of pipeline crossing the rugged mountains of West Virginia, carrying natural gas to power plants, businesses, and homes all across the country. For some young people, pipeline-related jobs are a rare opportunity to stay in the state and make a living. Leah Weeder is a welding student at Monongalia County Technical Education Center in Morgantown. Do you plan to stay in West Virginia after graduation?
Yeah, I do plan on staying in West Virginia. It's always going to be home. I want to work on the pipeline because I guess I've always liked to be outside, and it's really good money.
West Virginia led the nation with a 14.4% increase in new construction jobs, more than 4,000 between January 2017 and January 2018. That's according to the General Contractors of America. Much of the job growth is attributed to pipeline projects. Brittany Moody is the lead engineer on the Atlantic Coast Pipeline, known as the ACP, a 600-mile project that goes through West Virginia, Virginia, and North Carolina. According to Moody, the ACP has created over 4,000 construction jobs.
I have 8 construction spreads. Each spread is made up of approximately 500 to 800 employees. So when they come to the area, that's a pretty big impact, especially on these little tiny towns that we're used to being in.
Many of the workers on the ACP grew up in West Virginia, but the increase in new jobs has brought in workers from out of state as well. Cody Hibbard lives in Arkansas, but has been jumping between welding gigs across the country since he left the Naval Academy at age 19. Several months ago, he drove to Buchanan, West Virginia in his truck and camper to work on the ACP.
The wage is definitely livable. It's a great way to make a living.
Cody earns $5,600 per week in addition to benefits.
A lot of us stay in it for the money.
How many young people are on the pipeline with you?
There are quite a few young people on the pipeline. We even had a 17-year-old on another job. The more and more we get work, the more young people we bring in.
Joshua Hall is a professor of economics at West Virginia University. He says pipeline construction has stimulated the state's economy.
Undoubtedly, there's real benefits from the shale gas boom. Some counties have doubled their property tax revenues, and that helps all citizens of the state. If you're a typical high school student, you see $25 to $30 an hour in wages. It kind of seems like a no-brainer. Maybe I'll do it.
But he warns the boom might not last.
I think the biggest drawback that the shale gas boom had is it is a lure for a high school graduate to go into that industry, which might be temporary, instead of going to college.
ACP manager Brittany Moody admits that only a small number of jobs will remain once construction is completed.
I'm thinking in the low 20s range for permanent employees. We'll have permanent employees at all the compressor stations, and then we assign certain employees to walk the lines and to maintain and do the interval walking. So there's not that many permanent jobs that come out of it.
Leah Weeder isn't concerned that pipeline construction jobs are short-term.
I come from a family that do those types of jobs, and oftentimes if it's a big enough job, you can be there from 2 to 5 years or even 7 years to work on it.
But Professor Hall is concerned that West Virginia is not investing in lasting opportunities for young graduates in the non-technical fields.
The long-term effects of these short-term construction jobs in the natural gas industry is that we might be encouraging students to not build the skills that they might need for our future workforce.
What risk does a college graduate take to stay in-state?
The number one issue is upward mobility. We don't have a lot of large corporations that provide a clear pathway to advancement, and we are a rural, very isolated state.
Hannah Krueger is a senior at University High School in Morgantown. She's staying in-state to study political science, but is unsure what will happen after graduating college.
I'm not sure if I would have job security for what I'm interested in. I think a lot of people in West Virginia feel the same way. West Virginia is one of the only states that's actively losing population.
What does opportunity mean to you?
Opportunity means that if I have desires and passions, I can explore those wholeheartedly 110%, but I can't do that right now. And opportunity in West Virginia is severely lacking in that sense.
What we have here, that's a J bevel, that's a certain type.
Even pipeline workers from out of state, such as Cody Hibbard, aren't sure how long they'll be able to stick around.
I don't know if I'll stay in West Virginia. Really depends on where our work's at. The state, it's a great state. I enjoy working here. The people are great. I've been to Texas, to South Dakota, to Pennsylvania, and like I said, I'd like to stay here, but it just depends where the work's at.
But the future of pipeline jobs is also affected by environmental regulation. In December, a federal appeals court rejected permits for the ACP to cross 2 national forests in the Appalachian Trail. With construction stalled, project managers were forced to lay off or delay hiring more than 4,500 workers. Like most young people looking for work, they will move to wherever the jobs are, in or out of state. For PBS NewsHour Student Reporting Labs, I'm Alia King in Morgantown, West Virginia.